Okay, hello everyone. So, what we're looking at right now, this is the eye of the Sahara. Um, and I was just talking about the patterns. There was another possible eye in the Sahara over around where this started. And when I was looking at these smaller Lichtenberg figures, which do stretch quite a ways. Like that's a couple right there, couple right there, couple right there. And this right here is kind of like one of those ghostly images of when I see this, I kind of look at something like this, sort of. I see the patterns off of solar flares myself when I look at these sort of things, but I'm not too sure how to interpret them entirely, but it looks like these actually affect the vegetation. I'm not too sure if there's something else going on that I am not aware of to cause some of these features. When I zoom out a little more, they kind of show up at random, but I noticed them in other places. Like this stuff is what I'm talking about. Um, like there, it almost looks like there's a faint image of those concentric circles. I don't know if that's any part of what's going on or not, but like if that was an old river, you could see why the plumes were doing that. But like these striations, I don't know if this is a mountain range or something. Maybe that's what's causing this effect, but it doesn't always show up. Now, going back, zooming out, scrolling up, and looking at this feature right here in relationship to concentric circle patterns in relation to the eye of the Sahara. Alright, that one kind of looks like a smaller one over here, but there's this distinct pattern here. But also, while I was looking at this at first, taking you back to where I first started to notice it, like this goes right out towards this. This is one of those weird, like, it's a number 3 pattern, but it kind of reminds me of a bowl-shaped magnetic field. But this points in two distinct directions. And some of these features, see, this stuff up here is what really reminds me of like this right here, coming off of the sun like that. Like these banded striations, plasma filament is what I start to see in this sort of stuff. And it's pretty cool when you start to look at this, because like you can zoom in and it almost looks like there's a rope-like pattern, like it's swirling in and out as it goes through. Like this is a more intense focus in this region. I mean, these are like mountains, but this is an intense focus of the area, and you get this fractal pattern off of here. This could be fluvial, but when you look at it in a larger scale, it's like, here's again, this is that twisted braiding I'm talking about over here. This is like a larger jet, but it looks, to me, it reminds me of this. Like, let me do this. Let's look at some solar flare images where we can see some of these things, like that twisting of the plume. And you see a little bit of the braiding on this. You see more, well, maybe not more braiding back there. But that's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm seeing certain features on Earth. And we'll zoom out here and scroll over so we can look at that similar region, same region, similar. There's that twisting, like a rope-like effect. And you see these, and then there's these little twist. It's like a rope-like effect. This is perpendicular to it. There's that region. There's that region. And these remind me of when you're looking at this stuff. Kind of reminds me of a solar flare. But what's it doing on the surface of Earth is the question that was running through my mind. When I saw it at this scale, because see this, it's a banded, it flows right in this region, and there's a little bit of that braiding going on right there, and there's the eye of this Sahara right down here in the middle of all this. So in my opinion, this down here is undeniably an electrical discharge coming out right here, but in comparison, that's like nothing comparison to what's going on here. And that's where I zoom out and I start to notice, okay, all this points like this. And then I zoomed out and I zoomed out, and that's where I notice all this points in line with this. And it comes right up here and it wraps right into this focus region and right back over around to here. Like, it's cohesive in my mind. When all these features, these are not man-made, obviously, these are geologic features on the planet of Earth. So when I'm seeing like a plasma flare that looks similar to something like this, I didn't know what to think. All right. I'm gonna be honest. I had no idea what to think, and I was kind of scared, to be extremely honest with everyone. And I wanted to know what could have caused this. What could have caused all this? And the problem I found very soon was that nobody wanted to talk about this stuff. And it made me scared, because I didn't know what could have caused this to be that cohesive. And then again, there's like this right up from the center. There's a band down here and a band down here, like a banded striation. This is the pinch effect. But then there's another one over here. This is like the same force, all the same force. What could have caused it? And that's pretty scary, because that's really big, in my opinion. And when you don't know what could have caused something this big, and nobody wants to talk about it, it's kind of scary. It's really scary. So I had to figure this one out. And that was a very extensive process. I'm trying to go back to let you guys understand that this was not, I didn't mean to see this, but I can't unsee this now. So I had to explain it, because this is something on our Earth. And if there's something that could have caused this, I think people of Earth need to know, in my opinion. if nobody wants to talk about it, then how are we ever going to figure out if this is something we should be aware of? Like, what if it happens again? And that's where it really, like, in my opinion, it boiled down to, I don't know, but that's where I had to go out and figure this out, not just for myself, because I feel like everybody needs to know this. If it could happen again, something of that nature, that's a lot scarier than anything else I've been. That's not a comet or asteroid that caused that. I'm telling you that right now. That's a lot bigger. And I had to think of all the things that might have been potential causes. I don't know if I figured out the correct one, but I'm going to try and relay what I think might have caused all this to happen. And more, I guess. Alright, good luck everyone. I'll try and upload this tonight, and Happy New Year.